All right, YouTube, this is 2 Cent back with my 2 cents on Octopath Traveler, and we know Cyrus is coming to the game in less than, I think 6 hours at the point of making this video. So I know a lot of people have been super excited about him, but maybe you haven't been paying too much attention to what all this hype is about him, and you're kind of curious, hey, why is everybody talking about this guy? We're going to kind of go into that, but specifically I want to kind of show you the deep kind of comparisons between him and the other mages that we already have out of those element types, and just kind of give you a juxtaposition of why people are saying how, that he's going to be super strong, and that you're going to not want to pass up on him, and just all of those different things. Let's get into it. All right, so we're going to our new friendly website that I think looks really good and kind of is nice and user-friendly. Once again, link is in the description if you want to be able to kind of use this to look at units. But we have Cyrus here, going to, obviously be a scholar. And you can see here, fire, ice, and lightning is going to be like the typings that he's going to be able to have and utilize. And we got some big numbers here of the SP. Look at this elemental attack of 454. That's huge amount there. So a little bit lower on the speed, but I think we can, deal with that, whether or not we need to make it up or just have him kind of go last. Especially if we're breaking with some other units, and then we want him to come in and do the big damage while the enemy is in break. So that will definitely kind of help out there. So let's move along to these kind of passives. We're going to just kind of jet through most of this real quick so I can get to these comparisons. But we have being able to reveal one weakness of all enemies at the start of battle. Super easy, don't have to use anything, and they're just there. So definitely a nice kind of quality of life for people who might be wanting that. And then you see this buff here. This is a 20% fire, ice, and lightning damage up. Once again, this maxes out for in your passive section, your support section at 30%. So there is some room that you might be able to tack on. Specifically, maybe you're going into a fight that you really just need the fire or the ice or something like that. You might be able to get, a 10% just to add on to that from equipment, or, get that from another unit. So that's definitely a good step in the right direction from that. So really kind of what he's missing here that you'd be wanting as a support setup is getting that kind of magic up for him up to that 30%. So you can kind of find some different ways of utilizing that, partially with Lynette, etc. So battle skills here. Look at these. We're going to have all of these initial hits that are 230. There's quite a few units out there that don't even have 230 power moves to use. And here we are having one for fire, ice, and lightning. Definitely going to be able to be some hard-hitting abilities. Some more utility for weaknesses. I don't run any sort of weakness gathering on any of my units. Never have. So, to me, I don't find that super useful, and I doubt anybody's going to necessarily run it unless you're walking into a boss fight and just want to figure out everything that's there, then, close out and come back. So we got a tome 2-hit. It is not tomb, it is tome. So that's a 2-hitter there. It's not going to be a big thing for him. I mean, his physical attack is not that high, but it is nice to put it out there just in case you wind up in a fight where that's the weakness and you're just helping out. Now, here we go. This is a nice self, 15% magic up, but look, this buff effect increases it up to 25% when you hit level 88. That's perfect for him to be able to be self-sustaining. Granted, we have other units that we're going to be buffing from their battle skills. Once again, name dropping Lynette to be able to kind of help out with these different things. But nice that he can kind of have some self-sufficiency there with that. So let's get into the main three that you're probably going to be utilizing a lot, especially if you don't know exactly what you're fighting, if you're just utilizing him on your team, which that's what I think is going to be a big pull for him. It's just, you can just have him with you all the time, and there's going to be something that one of the enemies is going to be weak to that he's bringing along. And that's these 3 AoEs for fire, ice, and lightning. And look at the power on that. Those are 80 powers on each of those. And yeah, they start out at that whopping 70 SP, but he's got a huge SP pool, and then as you get him maxed out, they will come down to another range there of 56. So the ultimate here, we haven't gotten our ultimates yet, but looking into the future, this ultimate's a fire, ice, and lightning AoE. That's just going to be kind of a nice, real big hit for all 3 of those things. Definitely something that you're going to like when that comes around. And then for our wailing individuals, we have this accessory here that's 60 magic, 40 magic defense, 40 SP, and then here is the rest of that kind of damage up that we were looking for from his passive, that 10% fire, ice, and lightning. That gets you to your 30%. Do you think there's a reason that they put the passives at 20? Yeah, it's because they wanted you to be able to pull enough to get the accessory. That way that we're at 30. So, I mean, they didn't do us any favors there besides the people who are going to be pulling to max. Luckily, he is going to end up being a standard banner unit sometime in the future. So for those of us who aren't pulling at all, or maybe only pulling for one copy, eventually one day, 3 or 4 years from now, you'll have a maxed out Cyrus from pulling him off banner. Hopefully. Now we want to go in and we want to look to see, okay, how does he kind of measure up against some of the other mages that we already have out? And we really, kind of taking a look at the list, some of these are spoilers, just ignore the units that we don't have out. But, let's see, we have a lightning unit in Theresa, and we have Sophia for ice. So let's just kind of take a look at them. We got Sophia here. You can kind of see a little bit lower on the SP. Quite a bit lower. Look at the difference. We always talk about Sophia being a huge, nuker, but look at where she's at compared to him, as far as the elemental attack goes. And then let's kind of scroll down here. Yep, she's got that 20% or that 30% for ice, so she at least gets built in the full 30%. But yeah, we know she only has the one element, which is fine. But let's look at some of these modifiers here. ISO AoE 180. We do have a 230 here, so at least she can match at least a little bit there for the one hitters there. And then her ice single target is 85 for the 3 rather than the 80 for the 3, but it's single target versus AoE. So we're kind of seeing where we're going to get some trade-offs here. A lot of it's going to be the ability to have other, elements on the kit, but then also going to have a lot less AoE sort of power versus over here with Cyrus. So definitely something to kind of keep in mind. Is that Sophia is also going to be able to magic defense or ice defense down, and that is not something in Cyrus's kit. But this is where it kind of works together. You bring Sophia, you have her or somebody else ice defense down, magic defense down, and then bring him in to do the big old hits on his side of things. So we already see from her speed, she is faster than him. So that's part of it, was where she can come out, deal some nice 3 ice, at least it's, random, it's not the AoE, but she can get the ice defense down, she can get the magic defense down, and really set him up for success when it comes to the ice. And of course, there's other units that will work and synergize the same way. I'm just pointing it out that even if you have Sophia, Cyrus is going to be a great add-on. He just is. So let's take a look over here with our Theresa. Look at this elemental attack, quite a bit lower once again than his, and then her speed, once again, much speedier than him. So that's kind of where I was getting at, where he is pretty, lower down on there than our other ones. Same sort of story. She has this lightning damage up by 30%, so she kind of gets already maxed. And at the start of battle, she actually gets the elemental attack up for 30%, which makes her pretty good in that first 3-turn window, or if somebody else is keeping that buff refresh for her. So that is nice for her end of things. However, when we look here, her 3 lightning AoE is only going to be a 55 power versus this 80 power over here. And then her nukes in here, lightning AoE here of 180. So she's definitely not going to be putting out the same sort of numbers in both the stat and the power on her abilities. So take that into account. Even though she's got that extra sort of passive buffing there to kind of help out, it still isn't going to equal up to his. We are going to have that 15% lightning defense down that she can provide, and that's on a tome hit. That's an AoE for the whole group, which then lines up really well with his lightning AoE that you can utilize there. So keep that in mind, that once again, we're going to have some units here that's going to have some synergy for Cyrus. So That's kind of what I wanted to showcase here for you guys, is that even if we're looking at the units that we already have in game, that might be what we call like a lightning specialist or an ice specialist, Cyrus's kit is still in many ways better than them, at a damage way, in a shield breaking way, and then just being able to provide that extra utility for the weaknesses kind of helps out for your team. But we do have one weakness of his, is that he can't apply debuffs or anything like that. So being able to magic up himself helps out, but you might want to make sure that you have some of these supports to go with him. So if you are looking for Cyrus, also be looking on your team for people who can help do those debuffs to make him stronger, and also to raise up, if you're not getting the accessory, raise up his elemental damage and raise up his magic up for his passives, as well as being able to kind of buff him in the middle of the fight with your battle skills as well. You just want to look for those synergies as far as the debuffing, and all of that for him. And I think everybody's going to be pretty excited and pretty happy with him if you pull him. What I do want to caution is that, gotcha still be gotcha. And if you are less than 3,000 gems and that you're going in on this banner, do know that you may not get them, and you may not end up getting enough before his banner goes away to end up hitting him. And that sucks. But it's okay. He's going standard banner unit at some point. So don't take it too hard. But best of luck, and I hope everybody out there pulling for and gets them. And that's been my 2 cents.